This is a video response to Judy regarding your video titled Breaking News about Destiny Productions. Well, firstly, I'd like to point out, Judy, that you've trapped yourself quite well with your own words, where you said, quote, "The misinformation comes from the news in the first place," unquote. And yet you titled your video Breaking News about Destiny Productions. I found that quite fascinating. Okay, so regarding the point which you discussed about the expensive costs required to run the farm, where you also stated your claim that nobody is getting paid for what they do. See, now this is a perfect example of an assumption, because I live at the Destiny farm and I receive a monthly salary, as does everybody else who lives here, except for the animals, of course, because their job is to live like kings, as they should. Here I'll also just refer you to Destiny's part 2 response to the same video of yours, where she gave you the basic outline of who lives here and suggested that you do your own math. Okay, now I'm kind of dumbstruck by what you said here. I quote, "Why is it a free society that they want to create, but this free society costs an awful lot of money? It's not making too much sense," unquote. Seriously, lady? Do we even share the same planet? Or is it that you really have no common sense involved within your so-called investigations and research and ways of viewing things? Because the last time I checked, we are all subjected to the current economic system, which is a capitalistic system of abuse, a system that requires us to have that thing of so-called value, you know, that thing called money, to be able to have our basic needs taken care of. Just because we at Destiny see that the current system is abusive and doesn't serve life, and because we stand to change that, doesn't mean that while we are in the process of working towards implementing that change, that we are exempt from the current system rules and regulations. So just to remind you of that, well, what should be an obvious point. So yes, we also require money to live. And I'm still, in a way, struggling for myself to understand why you Destiny haters stand to oppose the end of abuse and suffering, why you would stand to oppose the end of rape and murder and human trafficking and animal abuse, all of which exists because of money. And if you had done your research, as you claim you have, you would know this. I suggest do some real research by reading a few of the hundreds of blog posts by people who have come from so many different walks of life and who have actually applied the tools that Destiny has suggested, which is self-forgiveness, self-honesty, writing yourself to freedom, to name but a few. I strongly recommend this because then you would see that these beings don't just suck things out of their asses to present to people as their assumptions and conclusions that they have come to. No, you would see the realness of these people within their writings and how they are in fact willing to do what is required to bring about a world where none have to be abused and have to suffer at the hands of a monetary system which has enslaved everybody, including you, Judy. For those listening to this, do some real research by testing out the invaluable tools shared at Destiny for yourself. Come and meet and get connected with real people who don't participate within gossip and making an ass out of themselves. People who care enough to change themselves in order to be the change we want to see in the world.